discuss and engage in a dialogue on this very interesting topic, how to leverage the power of LinkedIn for career management. I would like to begin by talking about what's the need for building your network and create your personal brand. So let's talk about, so while our point of discussion today is about how to leverage LinkedIn as a powerful social media tool to enhance your um, career prospects, build your network, create your personal brand. Let's begin by discussing what's the need for building your network. Why should we create our personal brand? Why is it important? Let's look at the next slide. And there's a very famous business leader, Porter Gale, who said something very profound and powerful. She says, your network is your net worth. So, what's your net worth? What's the wealth that you potentially can build? Um, will largely depend on your network. If you have a powerful network, then you can have a strong net worth. You are students of financial business who understand what is net worth. So your network can actually translate for you in terms of your net worth, in terms of your wealth, in terms of the career that you can potentially build. It's very essential to be well connected. And my dear friends, many a time we ignore this completely. We focus so much on our studies, on our job, on the work that we do. We sometimes ignore the power of network. 15 years ago, a job that I landed for myself was because of somebody that I knew. Of course, I had to go through a selection process. I had to appear in interviews. I had to go through all of that. But somebody opened the door for me. He established a connect in that organization. And the leader who saw my profile was interested in talking to me. That's how the discussions began, and I landed a job there. And many of you might have heard about powerful stories where being connected with somebody who is influential, who is powerful, whose opinion counts, can actually benefit you to a great extent. So, network is something we need to invest in. But my dear friends, it's not about looking at a network as a means to gain benefits only. Networks need to be mutual. They need to be give and take. They need to be something in which you should be willing to invest. Network is about building relationships. When you build relationships, it's not about going back to the leader or the individual when you need that individual or that leader, or when you need something. But if you invest in building that network, which essentially means staying in touch, being engaged, talking to that person at regular intervals, helping that person, other person in whichever way you can. That's how we build and nurture our network. It's very powerful to have a great network. So LinkedIn can be a very powerful tool to build your network. We'll talk more about it. Now, as we move on, there is another important aspect of creating your own LinkedIn profile and investing in that and being active in that, because all of us need to be a face in the crowd. In India, there are millions of people who pass out of professional educational institutions every year. There are millions, several millions who have already passed out. And they're in the same industry, the same marketplace, looking out for jobs. How do you stand out? How can you draw the attention of industries, recruiters, hiring managers? How can you become the face in the crowd? It's yours, my dear friends. You want to be the face in the crowd? or you want to get lost in the crowd. It's pretty easy to get lost in the crowd. Nobody takes note of you. Nobody understands that you are there, who have something to talk about, something to present. You are somebody who can bring value to their organization. It's pretty simple and easy to get lost in the millions, but it's important to stand out and be the face in the crowd. Establish your personal brand. There are hundreds of students will pass out from this institution. There are thousands and thousands who will pass out from hundreds of institutions across the country. And millions will pass out from thousands and thousands of institutions across the globe. How do you become the face in the crowd? As we move on, we will look at a very powerful equation. This equation, my dear friends, take it as a piece of advice from me, which will help you all your life. Mind it. This equation is very simple, but very powerful, something that will help you all your life, not just as you pass out or graduate from this institution, not just when you start your job, but maybe 20 years from now, 30 years from now. This equation is Q multiplied by A is equal to I. Here Q stands for quality, A stands for attention, I stands for impact. Your value is the impact that you create. Your net worth is the impact that you create for your organization, for your team, for your society, for the nation, for the world at large. You would be valued for the value that you create. And the powerful equation for impact is quality multiplied by attention. If you create great quality of work, that's fantastic, but it's not enough. You need to draw attention to the quality of work that you are creating. You need to create visibility. You need to grab attention. But if you only grab attention, my dear friends, it's not enough, because people will know that you lack substance. So what's important? There is a very famous saying that you can fool some people all the time. You can fool all the people sometime, but you cannot fool all the people all the time. But by creating visibility, only we can probably potentially fool some people all the time, and probably all the people for some time. But if you really want to make an impact, you need to have quality. You need to create visibility for what you are doing, the quality work that you're doing. But if you ignore any one of them, if you ignore both of them, you will be nowhere. But if you ignore any one of them, you will struggle. So pay attention to both. Quality of work that you're doing, quality of the content, quality of the product. If you're developing programs, the quality of programs. If you're working on a research paper, the quality of the research paper, but also the look and feel, the attention as you talk about it, present it to others, create visibility. Both of them are important to create impact. A powerful equation, my dear friends, you can take all your life. Now, we talked about, so today we're not going to talk about quality. I am assuming that each one of you will focus on that in your career, during your studies and in your career. So I'm not going to talk about that today. I leave it to you to focus on that. But today we'll talk about attention. Today we'll talk about how do we really leverage this powerful social media tool called LinkedIn to draw attention to yourself. As we move on and look at this, we are going to spend time talking about how we are going to use this social media tool to create your own brand, your personal brand, promote your ideas, enhance your career opportunities, expand your network. As we move on, we're going to spend some time talking about social media in general. Before we get into the social media platform called LinkedIn, let's talk about social media at large, social media in general, because social media is becoming very powerful today as a platform. Here are some very interesting statistics about social media. The internet today has about 4.5 billion users. In a world which has a population of probably about more than 7 billion, um, internet users are about 4.54 billion. So there are so many people, almost more than 70% of this world or 60% of the world are netizens, they're internet citizens. There are 3.7 billion active social media users. On an average, people have about 7.6 social media accounts. So you may have 2 Facebook accounts and a LinkedIn account and a Twitter account and a Quora account and then so on. On an average, people have got about 7.6 social media accounts. The average daily time spent on social media is about 140 minutes a day. So people spend more than 2 hours every day on social media. So people are generally active apart from the sleeping time and other time to kind of take care of their personal stuff, the daily routine, etc., like taking a bath, brushing your teeth. But the active time that they spend out of that 2 hours is on social media. So that's a powerful space where people spend a lot of time. If you have a presence there, which is impactful, you can make a difference. You can reach out to millions of people. Social media users grow by 328 million. They grew by 328 million between October 2018 and October 2019. In a span of about 1 year, social media users grew by 328 million users. That works out to be about 10 new social media users per second. And imagine how many new people get to social media every hour, every second. The number is humongously large. And the numbers probably could have been even larger this year because of the pandemic crisis, where people spent more time on computers and internet than stepping out and being in the mall or in the marketplace. Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp handle about 60 billion messages. These are short messaging tools. About 60 million messages per day is what they handle. There's a humongous amount of data that gets exchanged in the social media space. But what's the use of social media in business? Some very quick statistics, as you can look the next slide. This slide talks about some pretty interesting statistics, which says social media earned about 8.3 billion from advertising in 2015. About 90 billion USD was spent on social network advertising in 2019. 83% Fortune 500 companies have presence on Twitter. 38% of organizations plan to spend more than 20% of their total advertising budgets on social media. People aged between 55 and 64 are more than twice as likely to engage with branded connect than those 28 or younger. The young people might just be prepared to take risks, but people who are a little more aged, elderly, or a little more mature would like to go and look for comments in social media, look at reviews before taking decisions. 91% of retail brands use 2 or more social media channels. 81% of all small and medium businesses use some kind of social media plan. 78% of people who complain to a brand through Twitter, they get a response within an hour. See the power of social media in business, right? So it's not just about creating your personal network through social media. You can use this as a powerful business tool to attract ideas to attract attention for your ideas. If you want to become an entrepreneur, start an enterprise, start a startup, or join a startup. You can use social media as a powerful tool to promote your business. As we move on, now let's spend more about LinkedIn. I wanted to give you a large overview, a bird's eye view about the social media segment, the space, how it's really powerful today. But now we're going to talk about more specific things about LinkedIn. So before we get into the strategy, how you can promote yourself and how can you promote your career using LinkedIn, let's look at some interesting statistics about LinkedIn. As we move on, we can see some interesting statistics here. LinkedIn has more than 660 million members. There, most of them are professionals. It's a professional networking site. LinkedIn has 675 million monthly users. So these users at least log in and at least once a month. 40% of monthly active users use LinkedIn at least once a day. 61 million LinkedIn users are senior level influencers, and 40 million are in decision-making positions. Look at the power of LinkedIn, my dear friends. 61 million LinkedIn users are in senior positions. They're influencers. Industry listens to them. People listen to them. And 40 million of them are in decision-making positions. So if you have a powerful story in LinkedIn, you can reach out to millions of decision-making leaders in organizations. You can reach out to millions of influencers, senior level influencers in LinkedIn. But you need to have a powerful story. If you just have an account, don't have a story, then you may not get the attention. You may not have your own brand. LinkedIn is the most used social media platform among Fortune 500 companies. Fortune 500 companies, the best companies in the world, they use their most preferred social media platform for business, for recruitment, for hiring, for engagement, branding is LinkedIn. Of the 2 billion millennials globally, 87 million of them are on LinkedIn. So this essentially means that millennials probably are not leveraging it to the extent they should. But 87 million is not a small number. It's a big number. Of those 87 million millennial users, 11 million are in decision-making positions. So it's quite possible that some of your peers or your friends could be in the next couple of years in decision-making positions, because a number of millennials in managerial positions and leadership positions and in CXO positions is slowly increasing, but steadily increasing. In the near future, there'll be more millennials in leadership positions. That's an interesting dynamic that we are seeing in the industry. Can you be one of them? Can you really make use of this LinkedIn platform and then create your own niche for yourself? 30 million companies are on LinkedIn. So these are some very powerful statistics. If you don't have a LinkedIn account yet, this statistic should be compelling enough to make you decide to open your account today. If you have an account but not an active user, if you don't have a story to tell, if you don't create your own brand, then this will make you think again. Now let's move on and talk about your action, your strategy, what you should start doing from today. So there are a few things that we need to do. Let's move on. The first and foremost is your profile. Is your profile on LinkedIn attractive enough? Do you have the right information there? Do you have the right content there? How does your profile page look like? This is the first and foremost. Before you do anything with LinkedIn, make sure that you have a profile which is attractive. which is interesting, which talks a lot about yourself. A first glance at your profile will make a positive impact on the minds of a potential recruiter or a potential hiring manager or a potential business collaborator or somebody who matters to you. So, what are the things that you need to keep in mind? When you create your profile page, the most important thing you need to keep in mind is the fact that you need to have a good picture of yourself. Your photograph, a smiling face. Don't put a picture where you look very grave. Have a picture which presents you very positively, where you look energetic and positive. Put a picture of a smiling face. That's very important. First impression lasts long. That's a famous statement that all of us know. So many, I have seen many youngsters, and I have also seen some senior professionals putting in pictures which are not visible. Never put a holiday picture as your profile picture, because that gives a very casual impression about yourself. And don't give a life-size picture. I have seen a picture of a friend who is standing next to a tree, and 60% of the picture is the tree, and then just about 30 or 40% is the picture of my friend. You know, he's not visible at all. So don't have the entire life-size picture. Don't have your head shot, just your head. And I think all of you are familiar with headshot, and have your smiling face. That will make a positive impression, because potential recruiters will probably spend about 5 to 6 seconds on each LinkedIn profile. So your profile page needs to be drawing attention, needs to grab their attention. Do the right things. Have a very powerful headline about yourself. A powerful headline in one sentence which talks about the career opportunities that you are looking for, the value that you bring. An inquisitive programmer willing to make a career in the IT industry, in data analytics. One powerful statement. It tells about your strength, also tells about what you're looking for. Headline is very important. Talk about your value, talk about what you're looking for. Then your description, your summary. The executive summary is very important. Don't write a very lengthy summary, because recruiters will not have time to read lengthy ones. Maybe have about 8 to 9 sentences, 10, 12 sentences, not more than that, but use keywords in that. Most recruiters look for profiles using keywords. When they search for profile, they look for keywords: Python programming, that data analytics, strategic management, supply chain management, finance and accounting, healthcare. Use keywords which can talk about you, keywords which will help potential recruiters find you. Don't write an essay, don't write an article. When you write your summary, about 10 to 12 sentences, using powerful keywords which will help recruiters locate you, find you on LinkedIn. Education. Talk about your education. Talk about, if you have got a good GPA score, write it. If you don't have one, skip it. It doesn't matter. But if you have one, talk about it. Experience. If you have worked for another company, talk about it. Highlight key achievements in that company. Don't just write the designation and the period for which you worked. Talk about the key achievements in that job. But if you're a fresher, have no experience, talk about the projects that you have done in your college. Talk about the internship assignment that you have taken up. But again, highlight your key achievements in the internship program. If you have been involved in any voluntary activity, talk about it. If you have done a project and if you have prepared a research paper or project paper for project submission, give a link to that project details. Give a link to the research paper that you have created. Because if you have made a good impression on the potential hiring manager, he or she might want to click on that link and know more about the projects that you have done, know more about the great work that you have done. So my dear friends, your profile page is very important. Your profile page should make a statement about yourself, not just your designations and titles, not just a list of your qualifications, but it should talk about the key highlights of your profile, the value that you can create, the achievements you have had in your career, in your education, and so on. So this is a very important aspect, the very first step as part of your strategy. What's the next one? As we move on, the next thing that you should look at, so after you create your profile, attractive, eye-catching profile, the next step is build your network. How do you build your network? How do you connect with more people? There are two kinds of people that you need to connect with. People who are influential, people who are in senior positions, people who can become your mentors, people who can help you enhance your career prospects. And the second set of people could be your peers, people that you can collaborate with, people that you can engage with, people where you can work on assignments together, people who can stand up for you, your peer network, a network of senior professionals and a peer network. Both are equally important. So how do you build your network? The best way to build your network is to find out who are the people that matter to you. So ask yourself before you start this exercise is what are the industries where I'm looking for opportunity, job opportunities? Is it retail industry or is it airline industry? Or is it going to be healthcare industry? Or is it going to be tourism industry? Or is it IT industry? Once you narrow down the industries that you're looking at, look at the role that you are interested in. You want to be a finance analyst, business analyst, or you want to be a programmer, or you want to be a social media manager for a company, or you want to become a HRBP, a human resource professional, or you want to get into L&D. Determine your function, determine your industry. Basis that, search for professionals who meet this criteria. So if you're looking for an HR role in IT industry, look for senior professionals who belong to IT industry and potentially could be in a senior HR positions. Reach out to them, send them connect requests. Don't just click on the connect button because that may not really help. And such leaders might be getting hundreds of such requests every day. So you need to stand out there as well. So you need to make sure that you send out a connect request with a personalized message. It briefly talks about who you are and why you want to connect with that gentleman or with that lady who is in a senior position in the industry. If you want to reach out and then say, I'm actively looking for a job, I need a job, can you help me? They may ignore your connect request. They may not even look at your connect request. But if you tell them that, hey, I'm so-and-so, I'm a student of management, pursuing my management MBA in HR in New Delhi Institute of Management, and I'm really keen to make a career in HR. I have seen your profile and I've seen your interesting and impressive career journey. Would you be willing to guide me in my career pursuit in HR? You know, you might get the attention of that leader because That leader would see you as somebody who is inquisitive, somebody who has a passion, somebody who has a sense of purpose. And most senior leaders want to give back. Most senior leaders want to help youngsters like you. But if you sound desperate, they may not be interested in you, right? So when you build your network, send connect requests to other leaders, create a personalized message of 2 or 3 sentences, send out. But before that, identify the people in the relevant industry, in the relevant functions, in the relevant roles that you feel can be helpful to you, and do a search, narrow down your search, identify the right people, and then send out your connect request to them. That's how you can build your network. But it's not just enough to send a connect request and then be connected with somebody. You need to stay engaged. If that leader is writing blogs, you can go there and probably share a comment. If the leader is is posting something interesting every week or every day, you might just want to go and then like it, comment on it. That's how you are engaging. You might ask for a meeting. You might request the leader to become a mentor, and so on. But if you go and when you go and write a comment on somebody's article, don't just say, "Oh, interesting article, very good article, sir. Outstanding, brilliant blog, madam." Those things will not really help. I think your comment should be thoughtful. Share a point of view. That's how you can engage in a dialogue with the leader. That's how you can make an impression. But don't show arrogance. Don't show that you know everything and you don't have to learn anything from this leader. Share a point of view, ask a question, appear more inquisitive. That's how you'll make an impression on that leader, on that connection of yours. So these are different ways you can create your network, build your network, nurture and nourish your network. So the job search feature is a very powerful feature in LinkedIn, and you can use that potential. Don't go and randomly look for jobs. Narrow down your search. Type in the industry, type in the city or the location, type in the role, the function, etc. And you can find out what are the jobs available. Then you can also find out who in your network are working for those companies. So if you find an interesting job, which may be of interest to you, where you believe that you have the right skills to match up to that job's requirement, then find out who in your network can help you. Which senior leader, the HR leader, or a business leader who is working for that company with whom you have already established a network. Can you now leverage that network and request for a referral? But once again, the golden rule of job search is don't sound desperate. I receive so many jobs I request every day on LinkedIn from students saying, "Sir, please help me find a job." "Oh, I'm working. I passed out 6 months. I haven't found a job. Please help me. I'm desperate. I need a job." Or my father is not keeping well. I need a job. If you sound desperate, you really may not demonstrate that you have the right merit and talent for the job. You are probably struggling to find a job. And potential leaders look for talent. They look for people who have capability. So demonstrate your passion, your inquisitiveness, your talent. Don't demonstrate your desperation. That's not going to help you. So never write to somebody, "Please help me find a job in your company." Rather, you can write to that leader and then say, "I'm so and so, passed out from this. These are my skills. This is my qualification. This is the work that I've done. Can you refer to me, somebody in an organization who you think might be interested in my profile? I saw a job posting on LinkedIn by your company. I think I match those skills. Can you recommend Can you forward my CV? Talk from a position of strength. Don't talk from a position of weakness. Powerfully, judiciously use the job search feature in LinkedIn to enhance your career. The next one is about creating your own brand. Remember, all these four aspects I have talked about, they're all linked with each other. If you have a great profile, in other words, you are creating a personal brand. If you have a great network, it's going to help you find a job. If you have a good personal brand, it will also help you find a job. It will also help you build your network. So they are interlinked with each other. So your personal brand is important. Your personal brand will make a statement about you. It will talk about you. It will help you stand out. It will help you become the face in the crowd. How can you establish your personal brand? Use LinkedIn powerfully. LinkedIn gives you the opportunity to present yourself to the world, to the industry, to your potential collaborators, to your potential hiring managers, to your potential recruiters, to people who might be interested in you. Use this opportunity. You can create a video and post it on LinkedIn. You can write a blog. You can write an article. Use LinkedIn to convey your ideas, to position yourself, to make your opinion count. Use these features. These features are powerful features. The moment you keep writing blogs on LinkedIn or articles, let's say once a week, you are going to attract more views, more people who are interested in similar topics. LinkedIn, they will get to see through different connects, through forwards, through sharing and resharing, and through different other features of LinkedIn. More and more people will get to see you. They will get to know you. They will get to know your talent because you are positioning yourself as an expert in a particular area by sharing your views in the form of an article or a blog or a video. And instead of going desperately and asking for a job, you are indirectly going and presenting yourself as a talented person in the human resources field, or in the supply chain field, or in finance and accounting, or in international business, or in data analytics, or as a particle physicist. You are positioning yourself as a talent where you are attracting potential collaborators, recruiters, hiring managers. There are people who might reach out to you and ask for opportunities for collaboration. Ask to find out whether you'll be interested in an opportunity in their company, and so on. Create your brand. Create your personal brand. Use LinkedIn as a powerful tool. Don't write one article and then stop there. It's not going to help you. What's important in any social media platform, including LinkedIn, is to drive that frequency. You need that frequency. You need to drive things frequently. If you are writing a blog, if you decide to write a blog every week, do that week after week, week after week. That will draw more and more and more interested leaders and professionals to you and your profile. You will be able to establish your personal brand. LinkedIn is a powerful tool to establish your brand, to establish yourself as an expert in your space. Right? So these are the four powerful ideas, concepts that I wanted to share with you today. Your profile page, your network, your job search, and your personal brand. So that brings us to end of our session. And here are my coordinates. Here you can see my email ID, my Twitter handle. You can see my YouTube channel, which is Surya Mohapatra Official. You can subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on Twitter. If you have a question, you can write to me on email. And here is my LinkedIn profile. You can look for my profile on LinkedIn, typing in my name, which is Surya Prakash Mahapatra, you can send me a connect request. I would, if I receive connect requests from 80% of the students today who participated in this session, I would realize that my session was useful. But if I do not receive any connect request or receive very few, then I will realize that this session, I did not do a good job. Probably I did a bad job with my session. You did not like what I said. Hence, you did not subscribe to my YouTube channel, or you did not send me a connect request on LinkedIn. Thank you very much, students, for giving me a patient hearing. And thank you, professors, for giving me this opportunity to come and talk to the students. Now we can open up for a few questions.
Thank you so much, sir. I am sure you'll be flooded with requests after this session, because I can see that enthusiasm of our students on the chat. So I would like to take up the first question and name the students as well as we move on. This question is from Kavya. She says, you have guided us very nicely to be increasing our network. But how much of the importance do recruiters give to the recommendations and endorsements that we get from people?
Yes, that's a good question. Your recommendation alone will not help you, but they will definitely add to your profile. So your typically recruiters spend about, when they're searching through hundreds of profiles, they might just spend about 6-7 seconds or less than a minute on each profile. So your profile needs to stand out. But if you have got recommendations from really very strong industry leaders, it'll count. If you have a recommendation for somebody who's very well known in the same industry, if you're applying for an HR role, and then if you have recommendations from a few CHROs of some very well known companies, it's going to matter. They will definitely pause for a few minutes more and then try to understand what these leaders are talking about you. Because if those people's opinion matters, and if those people are there in your profile, I'm sure they will pause for a moment and then look at it. So get the recommendations from right leaders, influencers. It will matter.
Okay, right. Thank you, sir. I think the question is answered to the students. Professor Manika, may I request you to take the next question, please?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Sir, so Saurabh is asking that how many times ideally we should be posting on LinkedIn, and what should we be posting on LinkedIn, and how can we write a great report?
Okay, so let me try and answer this question to the best of my ability. How much time you should spend, it does not matter. What matters is the quality time that you spend. If you're spending, like you are spending time on Facebook, going and liking pictures and then passing a comment, etc., even if you spend 3-4 hours every day is not going to help. So the quality time that you spend doing quality stuff, and the regularity, consistency with which you are active in LinkedIn. If you say I'm going to spend 30 minutes every day, fine, spend 30 minutes. You don't have to spend 3 hours every day. If you say that I'm going to spend 2 hours every week, do that. But I think frequency is important. It should not be too infrequent that you log in once in 15 days, once in a month. You might be out of sync with many things that are happening around you. I think maybe a quick, a few minutes every day, and then some dedicated time every week, writing a blog or article or a post, etc., will help. So it's the consistency, the regularity, the frequency, and the quality of time that you spend is important. What kind of posts you should write? Okay, so I think you should write about things where you believe that your opinion will count, and you will be able to either make a statement, make your views reach the larger audience, or you are in a position to engage in a dialogue on a particular topic. So if you're looking for some information, you don't have enough information, data, statistics about that, you can go and post a query and ask a question. Um, what percentage of people are working from home today, and what are the common concerns of people that are working from home? You can go and post a query, and then your connections might respond to that. You can build a dialogue, right? That's one way of doing it, which is also called crowdsourcing of ideas. When you are short of ideas, you go and put a query in a social media platform. Many will jump in, and then they will share their inputs. That's one way of posting. The other way could be writing an article or a blog. Uh, when you write an article on a domain that you are good at, if you are a student of, if you're an MBA student with a specialization in international business, and if you start writing articles on international business, how is the business is going to recover after COVID-19? How is international business going to look like? What's the impact of COVID-19 on supply chain? What are the things that one leader, a company, a startup needs to keep in mind when the startup is expanding into international markets? If you start sharing your views, writing articles on topics of your area, you will attract like-minded people. You will get them to see your views. Okay? Spend time in writing good articles. Don't just write random thoughts. Invest time in preparing a good article, do some research, get statistics and data points, and then add your own views and opinion, your expert opinion to that, and write good articles. But write articles frequently. When I say frequently, write at regular frequency. If you say once a fortnight, I'm going to write an article, 2 articles a month, do that. I need some time to do research. I have also my studies and examination, but I can write 2 per month. Please do it. Please maintain that consistency. That is important. But if you keep writing consistently, you will get the attention of other leaders, other collaborators, recruiters, potential hiring managers. And you may say, oh, I have written 10 articles already, but I haven't, well, I don't think many people have seen it. Well, this is something that requires investment of time. And this requires investment of time over a period of months and months together. It's like going to a gym. You go there for 10 days and look at your muscles, and then you see, oh, I don't see much difference. Well, you have to do it day after day, week after week, month after month. You have to go back to the gym. Similarly, you have to do it every day or every week patiently and build it over a period of time. It's not going to happen overnight. And many people drop out of professional networking platforms. They do not contribute. They stop being active because they don't see immediate response and results and engagements. But it's going to take time. If you have made a good number of friends, it has happened over a period of time. It has not happened overnight. So if you want to establish your network on a social media platform, it's going to take time. I hope I answered your question, Saurav.
Yes, sir. In fact, sir, that question a lot of students have asked, and I think you've answered very well. A lot of students were asking that what is the exact content we should be posting on LinkedIn, and what kind of a content we should focus on.
I think I answered that question.
Yes, yes,
So
sir.
pick up your domain, your area of interest, your passion on which you can share something
Definitely,
and
sir.
start there.
Yeah, definitely, sir. So the question, by quite a few in bits and parts of this same answer has been answered. So we'll just take up one more question. I think we have a little time left. This is from Ayush Mishra, and they want the quite a few students have asked this question. They want you to comment on your ebook Ekakshara. So they want to know more about that.
Actually, talking about Ekakshara, the e-magazine.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, the e-magazine.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is an e-magazine. I'm part of a professional network called L&D Global. And this is a network of L&D practitioners, academicians, people who are from the learning and development and education space. And we publish a a quarterly magazine, and that magazine primarily focuses on topics related to human resources, learning and development, and knowledge management and academics. So it has two parts. The first part has articles from very senior HR, L&D leaders, influencers, and the second part has articles from new, promising young professionals in the HR and L&D space, promising writers in that space. So we basically bring thought leaders from the industry and bring their perspectives and views to the larger audience. And we also encourage and groom young, promising professionals and writers. So this is what Ekakshara is all about. It's a professional magazine on HR and learning and development. It is published every quarter. You want to get a copy of this, drop me an email or on the LinkedIn Connect request, make a mention, send me a message on LinkedIn. I will try and add your email ID to the distribution list so that you can also get a copy of this.
That would be wonderful, sir. So I think we've answered quite a lot of questions that students had. It's been a very fruitful session for all of us. I will request our chairman, sir, Dr. V.M. Bansal, to present the formal vote of thanks to you.
Hello, Surya. How are you?
I'm doing good, sir. Thank you for inviting me.
No, it was really interesting session. I too learned a lot, and I thought after listening, whatever profile has been posted against my name on the LinkedIn. Okay, so it's a big learning that you gave to all of us. Thank you so much for your passion and for your passionate connect with all of us. Thank you so very much. It was a big learning.
Thank you very much.
We are going to take what you've done today to the classrooms also. And I just remind you that you mentioned about students and other people, asking for the mentors on the LinkedIn and other things. So we ask you directly right here to be a mentor for our students. We have a very successful mentoring scheme for the last 7 years. And we will send you all the details. We have posted on our website also. And
sure.
We assign on an average 4 students to a mentor like you, who meets them at his convenience or her convenience, possibly twice a month. And you discuss whatever. And the mentors now are so very happy that their mentees the last 7 years have risen to very senior position in the corporate world. So there can't be a bigger happiness for the mentor that his or her mentee is doing a great work, on the startups or into the corporate world. So I expect and I take your assurance onto that for the better learning of the next generation.
Definitely. I would love to be part of it.
Very grateful to you. And, what I also learned from you is, since we have a MBA here in the digital marketing, we give dual specialization. People doing marketing or people doing HR, they also pick up digital marketing as a full specialization rather than a major and a minor.
Okay.
So we keep on, we keep on updating or improving or the curriculum almost every semester rather than every year or 2 years, because this is a highly transforming and highly innovative field. So
right.
I'll also seek a small time of yours. I'll send you the curriculum in case you want to, make any suggestions over there. Be very honest, because you know what industry needs, what you need. And we have to see
sure.
whether, we are exactly giving that or not, we need to improve somewhere.
Sure.
So I would seek that, kind of an input from you also. Although it will take a little bit of time of yours, but obviously, we will put into our record that these improvements have been done at your behest, at your suggestions.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a great service all of us need to be doing to the academic world.
Absolutely.
No,
I think whichever way I can contribute to youngsters and contribute to them to become better professionals, I would consider that to be a privilege.
No, I'm so happy that you're open to all the things. I'm very, very grateful. And
I have a bit of a
possibly
time
you will
constraint, but I think we can always find time for such
I
things.
know, we can always work out. So we will work entirely as per your convenience.
Sure.
I can understand people like you have to be having all the time constraints, but the way coolly, passionately you took the session today, so I thought that I have a right on you to make these requests.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. And possibly depending upon your time, we'll also like to do maybe one kind of a case study on you gradually. There's no hurry about it. On possibly your 2 hits in life or 2 misses in life. So we are trying to do that with great professionals so that management studies or management stories come out of them rather than our reading the Harvard case studies.
Okay.
We will spend time with you. We'll let you know what we are looking for. We'll take things out of you. It's all those
Sure.
things that have happened in your life. We are not doing
Sure.
anything incorrect, or we are not trying to put anything into place or put any words into anybody's mouth. Whatever you have gone through, what achievements you have made, how you made them, or whatever you wanted to do but couldn't do for X, Y, Z reasons, those will make very interesting case studies for us.
Sure.
So, very grateful to you. Thank you so very much for accepting all our requests and for being with us.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much. I'm extremely grateful. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Have a good day.
Thank you.